WVH. The following paid program does not necessarily reflect the views of this station, its staff, or Clear Channel Media and Entertainment.
It's time to enter the world of real estate in Oahu with Hawaii's only true real estate radio show, the Team Lally Real Estate Show. Grab a pen and get ready to take notes. For the next full hour, Hawaii's premier real estate leader, ADRIENNE Lally, and ATTILIO Leonardi will bring you the latest in real estate news and real-world strategies on how they can guarantee to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, or they'll buy it. Now, here are your hosts, ADRIENNE and ATTILIO.
Welcome to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. If you have any real estate questions, you can reach us at 799-9596. That's 799-9596, or on the web at teamlally.com. And that's Lally.
Well, hey, everybody, this is Attilio. I was doing my workout of the day at Alicante CrossFit. This lady came up to me, tapped me on the shoulder, started asking me a bunch of tax and legal questions. And I said, those are great questions. Highly recommend you seek the appropriate licensed professional. But, Mom, what other questions do you have? So if you hear anything on the show, sounds like legal advice, we are looking for an attorney
To recommend.
So if you feel that you have good knowledge regarding real estate, maybe in that field of legalese, give us a call. What's the number?
799-9596.
And then when we get to this part of the show, we say, hey, if anything sounds like legal advice, you should talk to, and then we say a whole bunch of last names and then the word law firm. Okay? So instead of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe, we would submit your name in that spot. You hear anything that sounds like tax advice, hey, we've got accountants that we can refer you to to talk about. But today, we are realtors, just for today, and we're going to talk about real estate.
All right, so we have some quotes to start our show off with, and they're from Jack Handy, one of our favorite humorists.
Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy.
All right, so don't ever get your speedometer confused with your clock, like I did once, because the faster you go, the later you think you are.
Oh, that's like a math problem. You got to kind of work it out. It's like a math word problem. I think you should read it again.
Don't ever get your speedometer confused with your clock, like I did once, because the faster you go, the later you think that you are.
Okay. What's the next one?
It makes me mad when people say, I turned and ran like a scared rabbit. Maybe it was like an angry rabbit who was going to fight in another fight away from the first fight.
And the last,
All right.
Deep Thought by Jack Handy.
I wish that outer space guys would conquer the Earth and make people their pets, because I'd like to have one of those little beds with my name on it.
Okay, yeah, like the pets. I get it. Pets with the little name, the little pet bed. Should put one of those in the office.
All right, so we'll be having Gabe Ame from Hawaii VA Loans calling in just a few minutes, but while we're waiting for his call, why don't we talk about a recent success story?
Well, let's get the listeners prepared. So if you're in a veteran or VA state of mind, feel free to tune in to Gabe. He's going to have some good tips on VA loans, and he has them every week on our show. So if you listen to this time of the show, you're going to hear that VA minute or quick tip. But let's talk about our, you said success story.
So we had, why don't we talk about our client, Daryl. No, we'll leave out his last name. But I think he had gone through 3 realtors, and none of them could help him.
Yeah.
He was a retired Marine officer, and needed to sell his home.
Yeah, so he was, got in a situation where his income reduced, wanted to get back home to the mainland, fell behind on some stuff, and just needed help. He was in a distressed situation. And we came in and got all his information, started communicating with the lien holders as well as the association. We were able to put a renter in there because the process takes a while. So we were able to stick a renter in there to help offset that income and get that association bill caught up. And he was super thankful of the whole situation because, it can be super stressful. Okay, you're pointing at a phone with a blank screen.
Well, no, I'm just going to read what he wrote.
Okay, you gotta edit it.
Because it's a very long testimonial.
Yeah.
Okay.
Read the last part.
The last part?
No, just go ahead. Read what it. Read. Go ahead.
All right. Today I received official correspondence via mail that my home cleared escrow and was sold to a new owner. While it was difficult for me to contain my joy, I'm compelled to take a moment to recognize the professional abilities of Team Lally and their remarkable efforts in achieving this outcome on my behalf. I'm a retired disabled veteran. In the summer of 2013, I faced significant financial, professional, and personal challenges. At the center of these challenges was the fact that my home was underwater and I could not continue making payments. I had previously worked with 3 other realtors on the island, 2 from major companies and 1 from an independent, and could not better my situation. Facing the brink of foreclosure and financial ruin, I called Team Lally on a recommendation from a friend. From that moment forward, I was able to take comfort in the belief that these people would achieve the best possible outcomes for my circumstance. While all Team Lally members went above and beyond to help me, I'd like to highlight a few. So he goes through and he highlights the team.
Yeah.
And I'll give the conclusion.
Yes, what is the conclusion?
In conclusion, Team Lally's professionalism, integrity, sense of urgency, and attentiveness to my best interest far exceeded my expectations and gave me a new lease on life. Team Lally truly exemplifies the team concept in the same fashion as the New York Yankees or Chicago Bulls teams of the 1990s. Every member is an all-star and the best at what they do. For this, they have my undying gratitude.
All right, so he's super thankful.
Yes.
If you know of anybody in that situation, have them give us a call. We're not here to judge or make them feel bad about that situation. That may be one of the reasons why they don't want to get help. They kind of want to just avoid the whole situation of being a distressed homeowner falling behind on payments. We have solutions. We have resources that we can point them to if they're involved or looking at solutions outside of us. We can actually vet that out for them, make sure they're not getting caught in a scam.
There's a lot of scams out there. We have another client who she spent already $10,000 to $15,000 with an attorney, and she's still in the same spot that she was 2 years ago.
Well, it's not a scam. It's just that we provide advice that says, okay, if your objective is to get out of this particular situation, why don't you let us advise you on what to do based on the experience that we've helped probably close to 400 homeowners in the same situation. That would be a good thing. If you're in that situation, you can call us up. You can, do that. I got this friend and he's behind on his mortgage payments. And he's not sure what to do. Do you have any advice for him? We can go that route.
Yep. So they can give us a call at 799-9596. All right. So I'm not sure if Gabe's calling in, but there was an interesting situation or a question that came up during the week from one of our buyer agents.
Yeah. The question was, it
was about the appliances.
Yeah, no, whether if you're going to use a VA loan, whether you have to have fully operational
appliances
in the kitchen, because I guess that's a common misperception.
So, and it's actually we see it all the time.
Yeah.
Especially with some of our properties that have been cleaned out.
And what did we learn?
That all you need is running water for a VA loan.
Running water, so you can. That means they can finance one tent next to a stream.
I don't know about that.
Because you got running water, right? No. What that means is that the home doesn't have to be. I guess a lot of the bones of the home, your electrical, plumbing, roof. A lot of the structure of the home needs to be in operating condition, but
and it needs to be permitted.
everything needs to be permitted. But if there is a situation where maybe the previous homeowner sold the appliances, they don't necessarily need to be all in there before the close of escrow.
Nope. And we've seen that time and time again, thinking that, you need to have the refrigerator, but not needed. All right. Well, we do need to take a quick break, but don't go too far. When we come back, we have
information that'll change your life forever.
Yes.
Come my lady, come my lady, you're my butterfly, sugar, baby. Such a sexy, pretty little thing. This April you got me sprung with your tongue ring.
I can tell you firsthand from moving across this great country that bad advice from your real estate agent can cost you time and a whole lot of money. You, however, have a great team of great Americans right there in your backyard that puts their money where their mouths are and takes the stress out of selling a home. I'm talking about ADRIENNE Lally and ATTILIO Leonardi of Team Lally at Keller Williams Realty. They have a system for attracting buyers that's so effective they can guarantee to sell your home at a price and a deadline that you agree to, or will have it bought for cash. Now, how can they do this? Simple. The average realtor sells less than 10 homes a year and attracts a handful of buyers a month. Now, ADRIENNE and ATTILIO spend thousands of dollars every month to attract hundreds of buyers and help sell your home for 18% more money than the traditional agent. Now, they are so confident that you'll be happy, they also offer you a one-day listing agreement. Now, if they don't live up to their guarantees, they let you out of the contract. No questions asked. ADRIENNE and ATTILIO's outsell 99% of the agents in Hawaii by targeting both local and out-of-state buyers. Call the agents that I personally recommend. That's ADRIENNE Lally and ATTILIO Leonardi of Team Lally at Keller Williams Realty at 799-9596. That's 799-9596. Or online at guaranteedsale.com.
Are you a veteran interested in purchasing a home? If so, you qualify for the great benefits allowed by the VA Home Loans Program. Benefits like no down payment required, reduced closing costs, and flexible qualifying guidelines.
Hawaii VA Loans is Hawaii's VA loan specialist who can educate you on all these benefits and help you get on track with being pre-approved for a VA loan.
For more information on how you can tap into this great resource, go to hawaiivaloans.com to download their free 24-page ebook. As a special bonus, after downloading the informative guide, you'll be instructed on how you can earn a $1,000 closing cost credit on your next home purchase.
So what are you waiting for? Get your free VA loan ebook and earn a $1,000 closing credit by going to hawaiivaloans.com or give them a call at 792-4251. That's 792-4251. We recommend Fidelity National Title Insurance Company for your next real estate transaction.
Through its nationwide network of direct operations and agents, Fidelity National Title provides title insurance, underwriting, escrow, and closing services to consumers.
Check them out at fidelitynationaltitle.com or fntic.com.
Hi, I'm Adrienne.
And I'm Attilio.
There are a lot of choices out there.
It's important to make the right choice when it comes to a realtor.
This client felt they made the right choice.
We'd like to share their thoughts with you.
I would say that Team Lally is more professional. Also, they are more thorough. They provide more than just their services are excellent. They'll provide you with other services. They keep you updated, let you know what's going on. I was never I was never lost as far as knowing what went on, but every step of the way they kept in touch and let me know what's going on. I would have no problem referring them.
When you're trying to find the best of the best, don't settle for an agent that's just like the rest. Pick a team that knows just what to do. From buying or selling, we work hard for you. Team Lally, the best real estate in the islands. 227-2703.
If if you're looking for an outstanding insurance agent that will personally help you during the moment of truth, we recommend Bradley Maruyama with Allstate Insurance.
So, Attilio, what do you mean by the moment of truth?
Well, the best insurance is the insurance you never have to use, but we know that's not how life works. So when life happens, you can count on Bradley and his team to exceed your expectations for your insurance needs.
Keep in mind that when buying a home, the cost of home insurance should be taken into consideration. I trust Bradley with my own personal home, so you should give him a call. Call Bradley with Allstate Insurance at 591-8016. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is Adrienne.
And this is Attilio.
And you're listening to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, where we'll buy it. If you have any real estate questions, you can reach us at 799-9596 or on the web at teamlally.com, and that's Lally.
Or maybe you just want a repeat of those Jack Handy quotes. Because they're catchy.
Yes.
They're addictive. They make you laugh. You know, it's important to laugh.
Yes, it is.
Because if you're grouchy, we don't want you as a client.
All right, so we have Duke on the line with the property management tip of the day.
All right, Duke, how you doing?
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes.
So what kind of tip are you going to share with us and our listeners about property management?
Yes.
If you're looking for a property manager, you can pretty much call around and compare fees and services. Look for a property manager that has the ability to inspect your property at 6 months and also do a automatic transfer into your account and offer that service to your tenants also.
So how many property managers offer this service? Do all of them, or I know that you do, but
the majority of property managers who are in the larger category, 50 properties plus, probably have an ACH ability to transfer money and deposits. Most people that are needing a property manager, I'd say majority of them are off island. So when that happens, you probably need your monies ASAP.
Okay.
Keller Williams Property Management doesn't offer a grace period with tenants. So what happens is on the first of the month, your rent is due. Most of the time, I'd say 90% of the time, most of the rents are collected on time, and then your monies are deposited in your account by the 5th.
Yeah.
It really helps when you have to make a mortgage payment on the 1st.
Yeah. And, I guess the other thing they should be doing is maybe checking, I know that you'll be able to do that, is provide references of owners that you're managing for.
Sure. You can provide references and testimonials.
Yeah, because I think that's important. The value of a property is highly connected to the quality of the property management, right?
Yes, success of your property manager and the relationship of the quality of tenant is probably going to be the key to your success.
Yeah. One of my
Keller Williams Property Management does an extensive background search.
Yes.
We do credit, criminal, and rental history.
I like, the questions that you guys ask. That one that I call it that $54,000 question, and say, hey, this is directed to the tenant. We're going to be doing a very extensive background. Is there anything we need to know?
And
most of the time, the key issues come up when you ask that question.
Okay. So we do. We came across one of your testimonials.
Yeah, we just want to share it with you and the rest of our listeners.
Yep.
So Duke Kim Han, property management specialist, the most dedicated and decisive property manager I've ever seen. He treated my property as if it were his own personal property. Initially, he was able to find mature, responsible renters who would respect the property. Next, he expeditiously handled every issue, lost keys, malfunctioning appliances, etc., to both mine and the tenant's satisfaction. Finally, using his own creativity and a minimal budget, he repaired and strengthened a broken relationship I had with the association responsible for the maintenance fees.
Yeah.
Duke Kim Han would be my first choice to manage any property that I owned.
Yeah.
And that was from our client, Daryl Fuller.
Yeah, Duke. Okay, so people are listening in. The number to call for Duke's property management services. You know what I say? don't manage your properties with him, but at least interview him.
Mhm.
The phone number is 445-9223. That's 445-9223. And his website for Keller Williams Honolulu Property Management is KWHIPM. So that stands for Keller Williams Hawaii Property Management.com. That's KWHIPM. Duke, the other thing I'll tell you, we get listings all the time, and I guess this is a heads up for the other property managers, but one of the number one reasons why we end up getting the listing as opposed to the property manager is that a lot of clients will call, and this is not just one particular property manager, but just in general, they'll say, hey, you know what? I tried getting a hold of my property manager to talk about getting my property for sale, and it's just the response time is super slow.
Well, one of my habits in life is to answer my phone.
Yeah.
And I think that's always key when it comes to communication.
Yeah.
And most of the time you want to be able to pick up your phone and talk to your property manager about a question that you may have in the middle of the night about your property.
Sure.
So we have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week owner portal that the owners can go and check.
Yep.
And we also have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week tenant portal that the tenants can go on and file service requests and put in for the property manager to call them back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always key.
Yeah, I think that's important, especially if like a tenant, like maybe if they live in a condo. I know I've gotten these calls and had to stop what I'm doing on the list side where the property's getting a water leak.
Yeah.
And you cannot wait a couple hours or, the next day. You got to act on that stuff right away. I mean, personally, I've seen single-family homes. I've run over there to shut the main water line off on a weekend or late night and taking my teenage boy to go and shop back and get the water up on a vacant listing. But, any other tips for us for the property management?
Well, we have, 24/7 water extraction people on call.
Ooh, awesome.
We have a lot of trades that are contract price with our company. Mm-hmm. And through the years, I guess you get to learn, who to use and who do you want in your condo and who do you want in your home. And most of our people are licensed bonded, if not all of them. Uh-huh. And these are people that work out in the community as plumbers, electricians, handymen, and so forth, contractors.
Okay.
All right. So if you want to get a hold of Duke, give him a call at 445-9223 or check him out on the web at kwhipm.com.
Well, thank you, Duke.
Thank you.
All right.
Good luck to you all, and you guys have a great 2014.
Thank you.
Too. Bye, Duke.
Bye-bye.
All right, next up, do we have Gabe?
Well, we have Jim, our guest.
Well,
Hello. Hello.
Who's on the line?
This is Jim Bixby, Homeworks.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Hey, how are you?
Doing great.
Oh, we have,
you lost somebody.
We have a busy signal.
Uh-oh.
Here comes the producer. There we go. Oh, all right, Jim, you still there?
Who's there? Oh, Gabe. Is this Gabe Ame?
This is Gabe Ame. Who we got? We got Jim or we got Gabe?
Jim, I know. Hopefully you can hear us on hold, but basically we're going to just do a quick VA minute with Gabe, and then we're going to bring you right back on and continue on with Graham Builders. But hang on the line, please, if you could. Gabe, so what's our VA minute?
So, Adrian, you said that you wanted to discuss appliances and how VA looks at appliances, if you need to have appliances when buying a home using a VA loan, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, remember, I don't know if you remember back, one of our first transactions we did, maybe 5-6 years ago, was, remember Jessica Gant?
Oh, you know what? She's actually visiting here. She's going to be here till Thursday.
Yeah. Remember, she was buying a property. I think you were listing it, and it was a short sale, right? And I think they didn't even have any appliances in the property. Remember that?
Yep.
It was a messy home.
Yeah, it was messy. I mean, she got a good deal, but they didn't have any appliances. And so that's when we actually did some research and found out that a veteran, for a VA loan, we don't need to have all the appliances in the home.
Mm-hmm.
We can still purchase it with a VA loan. So in the unlikely event that you want to purchase a property with no appliances, just know you can still do a VA loan. But remember now, when a VA appraiser does appraisal, they're going to make adjustments to the value
if
there's missing appliances. So just got to make sure you factor that in there.
Yes, so make sure the values are accurate as far as what's agreed upon.
Yep.
Exactly. So, just know that when you buy a home with appliances, it's all factored into your loan amount. And if you're going to try and buy a home without appliances, you're going to have to pick that up out of pocket, or maybe go to Home Depot or Sears, put it on your Sears card, and try and finance it that way.
But you can get a VA loan without appliances in the home. That's not
exactly.
a requirement.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, that's a good tip. I also noticed on your website you guys have a free 24-page VA home buyer's guide. They just click the download button.
Yeah. Again, we always try to figure out ways where we can add value to the veterans, and so. If you're a veteran out there just trying to get some general information about the VA loan program, how it works, the benefits, go to our website at hawaiivaloans.com, and we've got that ebook that you can download for free. You can do some research, do some reading, and then, find out the facts that way.
Hey, and everybody listening out there, you veterans, Hawaii VA Loans is a great supporter of our veterans here in the community. You guys do the CrossFit Showdown once a year. How much money did you guys raise on the last one?
We raised a little shy of $30,000 to support Operation Homefront Hawaii, which is a Hawaii nonprofit that helps families of deployed service members with emergency assistance. So it's something we do every year, and it's still about 6 months away. Next one's going to be September 1st, but we're going to start getting ready for that pretty soon.
Yeah. So hey, folks, veterans out there, give them a call, 792-4251. You're not only going to get great service, but by doing business with Hawaii VA Loans, you're going to be supporting other veterans because of this showdown thing that they do every year.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Gabe, for calling in, and you have a great rest of your weekend.
All right. Thanks, Gabe.
Thanks, Gabe. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. That's Hawaii VA Loans, 792-4251. Or check them out on the website. What's their website, Adrienne?
HawaiiVALoans.com.
All right. Speaking of websites, I'm looking at GrahamBuilders.com. Jim, are you there?
Yeah. Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good, good.
Thanks so much for calling in.
I got to make a little correction for you guys.
Sure.
I'm with Homeworks Construction.
Oh!
Graham Builders is my competition, so let's not talk about them anymore.
No.
I'm just kidding. They're good friends of mine.
Yeah. Okay.
But I own a company called Homeworks Construction.
All right. So Homeworks Construction, and you guys have a show here on the radio also.
I do. Every Saturday morning, I just missed you guys at 9 o'clock. I do it with Rick Hamada.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing that for 9 years.
Wow.
Kind of a veteran. But you know what? What's funny? I never called to a radio show ever in my whole life.
This your first time?
I'm nervous. I'm sweating like, I won't tell you what I'm sweating like. I'm so nervous calling in. But when I go on the radio, I'm not nervous at all.
Yep. All right. So, and you guys don't do on our show, it's call-in guests only. We don't take the random callers, but unless they have like a specific real estate question, we'll talk to them. But most of the time, it's just call-in guests. So, and with your guys, so what did you guys talk about on your show today? Or what have been like top tips that people who are looking to build a home want to know about?
Well, we call the show Build New or Redo.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because a lot of people come to us and they say, should we tear our house down and build a new one, or should we just take our existing house and redo it, renovate it? So over the years, and I've been doing the show, like I said, for 9 years, we try to answer that question, and each client is different.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, we had one client that I went to their house in Kaneohe, and they're the husband and wife and one little girl, and she was pregnant again, and they had the grandpa there, and they were talking about tearing the house down and building a brand new one. So when I was at their house talking, I could see the grandpa over in the corner. He was a career union mason, Filipino guy, and I could see these tears in his eyes. This guy's on his truth. Because he had done concrete countertops and did a whole bunch of things in the house, and to him, tearing it down was like the end of the world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes you have to realize that there's an emotional value. So I said, you know what, why don't we just renovate this house, put some additions on so to accommodate the multi-generational family, and that's what we did. The grandpa lit up like a Christmas tree.
Wow.
So it was a great story right there.
And I'm taking, a lot of one of the topics that comes up a lot, and you're talking about the grandpa, is the, I guess we have demographically, we have a very older population here in Hawaii. So like a lot about aging in place. What's some top tips for that as far as aging in place?
Aging in place, that's like what's really going on now. You know, a lot of people talk about green building, but really aging in place is where it's at, because the the multi-generational housing and is kind of what's being built all of a sudden. We're doing that more than anything else. Aging in place it's kind of like a universal design, where you can go in and you could design a house or an addition for the whole lifespan of your family. So from little kids to grown-ups to adults that are, maybe need a wheelchair or something like that. So we try to put that aspect in every job that we do. Say, okay, let's say, you're 25 years old, you're putting an addition on, and we're going to do a bathroom in this addition that we're building for you. But maybe we'll put plywood on the walls underneath the drywall, so when you get a little older, if you need to add grab bars, you already have backing in the wall for grab bars when you get a little older. Little simple things like that. So that's kind of like the multi-generational aging in place kind of a thing. Because here in Hawaii, we stay in our homes. We don't go to the retirement homes like they do in the mainland. So, and they found, this is interesting, they found through studies that people that live in their house, stay in their houses longer, live longer.
Live longer.
They live longer if you can stay in your own home.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I know. My grandfather passed away a couple of years ago, and we were looking at the home health care and all of that, and it's very costly in the state of Hawaii. He was actually in Minnesota at the time, and we learned, by mistake of there, whether you have the income or not, it's all provided by the state back there. Wow. But when we brought him back to Hawaii, we found that a lot of that, unless you have the long-term health care insurance, the family's got to pay out of pocket.
Right.
And he was at my dad's house, and it wasn't really set up to take care of him. But
right.
I think that's something that people need to. I don't know. I think people are starting to plan for it when they do have a custom-built home, even if they're like still in their 30s or 40s, right? Like you said, putting stuff behind the wall.
Absolutely, and it's a lot of little simple things. Let's say you're going to put in, standard would be 2'6" doors to the bedrooms and bathrooms. So now let's put in 3 foot wide doors, because that'll accommodate a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Let's make the hall 4 feet wide instead of 3 feet wide, so you can have easy access. Let's make the bathroom, one bathroom in the house, like 5'6" wide, so if you had a wheelchair, you could spin around in that wheel. You know what I'm saying? So let's plan. It don't cost no more when you're planning to do it now. Later on, to retrofit might cost a lot of money, but right now, just plan a little bit ahead. And it doesn't look like institutional. It just looks like a regular nice house.
Yeah. Maybe you want to break dance in your bathroom. You need the room.
Yeah.
You break dance now, wheelchair down the road.
Older folks love doing break dancing.
Yeah.
So Jim, what would you say differentiates your company most from your guys' competition out there?
Our competition, I'm going to mention their names.
No, we won't mention names.
I know I'm mentioning their names. You got thousands of people listening.
Yes. But what differentiates you guys most? Like, why would a consumer choose your company?
Hey, Jim, here's one thing I'll tell you that's the big one, that you guys are licensed. I mean, we, as realtors, we sell hundreds of homes. Right. And we come across a ton of stuff that's not permitted, not made, not added on by licensed people. And then the sellers don't realize that doesn't count towards your value at all.
Exactly. And then, people call us for an addition or a renovation, and we find out that there's additions put on that weren't permitted. So what we have to do is we go back and do plans for what they put on, and sometimes tear it down and rebuild it to make it up to code.
Yeah.
So if it's not permitted, I tell everybody, you know what, whatever you're going to do, get a permit. And not even think about doing something without a permit. Don't try to save that little bit of money, because it can cost you a lot in the future. But Adrienne, your question, I appreciate it. What sets us apart?
Yeah.
I started my company 20 years ago, and I started doing design builds, and I try to give people a little bit more than anybody else was offering. So I think our philosophy has been the client is the most important thing, and we have to understand that is what gives us the work and makes us succeed, is understanding the client's need and working for them. We work for them. They don't work for us. So we need to design or build what the client wants. And really, I think over the years we've been quite successful at that.
So really fine-tuning your listening skills and giving them what it is that they really need.
Adrienne, we're born with 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So that you have to learn that. I tell all my people, listen to the client, because they're going to tell you what's good, what's wrong, what's bad, what's going on, and you have to listen to that. Don't put your opinion in there. Hear what they got to say. And I think that's gone a long ways in our success.
You know, I noticed there, okay, so your guys' website is homeworkshawaii.com. That's
Correct.
homeworkshawaii.com. There's a number on there, 955-2777. That's a good
That's
number?
correct. Yeah, that's our office. And our
Okay.
office is over on 2111 South Veritania Street. We bought a building about 5 years ago and renovated it because, you know, we needed a permanent home. And I think people have confidence. If the contractor they hire has a permanent location where they own the building, you know, we got a big mortgage. We're going to be around for a long time.
You guys aren't going anywhere. You're
We're
not
going anywhere.
doing a consultation off the back of your pickup truck.
No, that's right.
So Jim, do you work the whole island of Oahu and neighbor islands as well, or?
No, you know, we've done some neighbor island stuff, and actually I just got a call to build a house up in Kauai. But most of our work, you know, we've done over 1,000 projects. 995 has been on Oahu, and so we're pretty much Honolulu. We work here, and we work all over the island. You know, and we don't lock ourselves in to one type of builder. You know, some builders say, "Oh, I only do steel construction. I only do concrete. I only do high-end houses. I only work in Lower Ridge." Whatever makes sense. We're builders. So if you come to us and say, "I want a house built out of steel," we'll build it. If you want it concrete, we'll build it. You know what I mean? We're builders. Yeah, we'll build whatever makes sense.
Now, what if Oprah called you and said she wanted you to build a house for her on Maui?
Well, I don't know. Can she afford it? I think so.
Yeah,
we
we're trying
would
to
certainly do that. Maui's my favorite place in the world. I love Maui.
Yeah, we if anything, we may have you call in on our show over there. We're trying to get Oprah to come on there, and maybe we'll connect you guys up, and you can go build one of her mansions over there.
Dude,
but,
yeah, absolutely. I'd love to do that.
So you guys, so as far like, okay, I'm a builder, or you know, I just want an addition to ground up construction to in-home remodeling. Describe to us. I'm going to call you guys. Am I coming to your office? You coming to us?
Well, probably the first call, we would go to you and kind of get, see what you want to do. If you want an addition or a new kitchen, and then what we would do. So we're design build. So we'll come up with maybe a preliminary plan, and I actually do all the estimating. So come up with the price, and then you probably come to our office and we'll review the scope of work and the price and make sure everything works together. And we do all that for free. We don't charge for any of that.
Okay.
And then if you like, what you see, and most of the time somebody says, well, I like the way you designed this, but, I'd like to move some windows or some doors. So we'll do that for you. And then once you settle on the scope of work and the price. Now, our price always includes all the architect's fees, the demolition, the permits, the engineering. We do all that. That's all included in our price. So we don't beat up people on the change orders.
Gotcha.
Too many people do. They come in with a low price. Once they sign the contract, it didn't include the architect, didn't include the engineer, didn't include the permit. I'm too old to do business like that. I'm going to give you a price, everything's included. No nonsense, nothing hidden. I don't like that.
I think that's the right way to do business, and that's probably why you guys are so successful.
That's correct. And we have a licensed architect on our staff. We pay them a salary. We have kitchen designers, and the people that do all the selections, help you with the carpeting, the tile, the countertops, that kind of stuff. So, we really are there to help you get through the process. It can be a very stressful process. There's I think it's 50,000 items go into a new home, and 3,000 decisions need to be made. Now, some of the decisions are real simple, like where to place a window. So it's a lot to do. So we're there to help you out through that process.
Yeah. So again, from the real estate point of view, we were always sitting down with homeowners all the time. Don't cut corners. It's cool having Uncle Joey do that remodel for you under the table. But when it comes time to
sell or refinance,
get that home line of equity so you can send your kids off to college, you think Uncle Joey did you a favor.
That's right. He did not.
Yeah. So Homeworks Hawaii.com. The number is 955-277. And then you guys, you have your radio show with Rick every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. Right here on KHVH.
should come on with me sometime.
Yeah.
It'd be great to have you guys in the studio.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I would love to have you guys in the studio. We can talk about, you know what's really interesting, people are very interested in, is what homeowners can do to help their house sell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like maybe paint the entry door a nice color or put a little bit of lighting in or a little bit of landscaping. Not everybody knows that. So
Yep.
it'd be great to come on. We all get together on a radio show. We could spend an hour talking about, you know, what to help make a house sell.
Yeah.
And, of course, homeowners really have to go to a professional realtor like you guys, you know.
Sure.
'Cause you guys really know what the market is, you know. A realtor that doesn't know can say, oh, your house is worth $2 million and it's on listed for a year, you don't sell it.
Mhm.
You guys actually know, you know.
Because we actually sell the homes.
We sell
You actually
homes,
sell
sell
the
tons of
homes.
them.
That's right.
So you guys are licensed, bonded, and insured.
We
And
are.
What peace of mind does that give me as a homeowner?
Well, a bond is like an insurance policy. So a bond is if we can't complete the project for the stated amount in the contract, a bonding company will come in and complete the project for no extra cost to the homeowner.
Oh, wow.
In case I, meet a gorgeous lady in Tahiti and move down there and I don't finish your project,
Yeah.
the bonding company will come in and finish it. The insurance is, and I'll give you a real quick case. We did a house, and the carpenter had hit a water line when he was nailing on the base, and he didn't, with air nailers, you don't really can tell if you hit something, and it damaged a plumbing line. Water had leaked out after the homeowner moved in under the hardwood flooring, ruined the hardwood flooring. 3 months later, they called and said, our flooring's all buckled. And so what we did is we called the insurance company, and it was a $20,000 repair. The insurance company paid for it. They got a whole brand new flooring. If we did not have insurance, the homeowner would have been stuck for that $20,000 repair.
Oh, wow.
So that's the, and also the same with the workman's compensation insurance. If somebody gets hurt, then workman's compensation covers that cost. If you hire somebody without workers' comp and they get hurt on your project, you're going to be liable for their well-being.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That could be scary.
Yes, so
it could be very scary.
try to avoid getting your next remodel done by a guy off of Craigslist.
How home works,
Probably
Hawaii.
so. You should really make sure that they have been around for a long time.
Yeah.
They have done projects which are similar to yours. Now, you don't want to hire a guy that has only done kitchens to build a new house.
Yep.
All he knows is kitchens. You want to hire somebody, if you're going to do an addition, you want somebody that's done many additions. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Somebody that's experienced in the type of work that you're going to do.
Now, now I know is most of your work with homeowners, or do you have once in a while get like investors that want to do something with you guys?
Yeah, most of our work is at homeowners. Sometimes an investor will come to us and say, hey, I got 3 or 4 lots over in Kailua.
Mm-hmm.
You design and build 3 or 4 houses for us, and we will certainly do that.
Okay.
But majority of our work is for homeowners, and that's it. We primarily work for homeowners.
Gotcha. That's
Yeah.
And we work with a lot of homeowners, so we'll be happy to refer all of our past clients and current clients that need your guys' services.
Yeah.
Well, great. And I'll tell you something else. A lot of clients come to us and they say, we want a new house, but we can't find a lot. We'll certainly give them your guys' name so you can help them out finding a empty building lot, or maybe a house to renovate or tear down.
Yeah.
Yes, we can do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've seen the builders will do this. The big guys like Gentry, Castle and Cook,
Right.
is they'll plan a subdivision, but then there'll be like these odd little lots that are left over
yeah.
that they won't
Right.
put up a home on, and they'll just sell the lots. And we've seen that a couple of times. So if people are interested in checking those kind of things out.
We have people all the time call us and say, we really want a bigger house, but we need to find an empty lot or an old house that we can renovate or tear down. So we'll definitely be calling you on that.
Yeah. So, all right. So you shared one success story. How about anything interesting or funny as far as in all these years you've been doing this?
You got that dump button just in case I get a little too carried away with some of the. No, just kidding. No, we actually do a lot of demolition. We do a lot of tear downs. We're going to an older neighborhood and tear a house down and build a brand new one, and that's always exciting because sometimes the project is very unique.
Yeah.
What I mean, and everybody has a different lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
We actually had a client that came to us and they wanted to build a brand new house, and she said to me, "Well, can I see some of the houses you build?" I said, "Well, all right, over in Kailua, over at the Bluffs. We built a really nice house over there.
Yeah.
She wanted to build right near there. And she went over there, and she didn't call me back. And finally, after a week, I called her back, and I said, Mrs. So-and-so, I haven't heard from you. What's going on? I said, well, I hired another builder. I said, why? I thought we were... She said, well, I don't like the way you folks paint your house. I said, what do you mean? She said, well, it came out... She didn't like the color that we painted it. And, so it was maybe a little misunderstanding because she thought that's how the color we paint all our houses.
Yeah.
And that's, of course, by up to the homeowner.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's kind of a funny story, but we never got the job because she already signed with the other guy. But that's a lesson to be learned. Make sure communication is key to a successful project. I require my homeowners and my project managers to have a meeting once a week with the homeowner on site to go through everything that's going on, so there's no misunderstandings.
Sounds like you have a communication guarantee, kind of like
we
what
try,
we do.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, once we list somebody's home, we call them once a week. I don't know if it's probably true in most industries, but the number one complaint consumers have is lack of communication.
Exactly.
Yeah, they don't know what's going on.
Yes, and if you guys do that, you're above everybody else, I'll tell you right now.
Hey, and you know what? And we know it's true in all industries. You call somebody, they take forever to get back to you, if never. You got to call a bunch of them, and then it's usually the ones that are quick to respond and follow up and continue that communication process. It's probably a good reflection of the quality of work they do.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. If you don't get back to somebody with it, you only have a small window of opportunity to get back to a client, and you guys know that as being in business and professionals. If you don't get back to them in a week or something, probably forget about it. You're probably out.
Yeah.
So our goal is to try to get back to people right away. I mean, sometimes an estimate might take 2 weeks, but at least we can follow up during those 2 weeks. So, we're working on it. We're trying to get there. And if you have any other questions or concerns, So communication, like you said, Adrienne, is key.
And our last question here before we let you go enjoy the rest of your weekend. It may not be an easy one, but if you give us the quick answer to it, we'll always have you on, and then there's your show to listen to. But, there's a balance between some people say, well, I want you to replace this, this, and this, and then it's almost the whole house. How do you determine when it's time to just bulldoze the place and build new versus just do remodeling?
Well, that's a very tough question.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's some value in leaving the old house. Maybe the slab is still good.
Yeah.
So a new slab is $30,000. So you save $30,000 just by leaving the old slab. And sometimes the slab is cracked. And if you want to do a 2-story house, if it was a single-story house that was there, the slab cannot support a second story. So maybe it's time then to get rid of everything. But what I always tell people is, like you guys know this, location is also super important.
Yeah.
If you have a location really close to town, you work in the town, spend the money, even if you have to tear it down to build a new one, because instead of moving too far out,
Yeah.
So, and build, new, or redo, that's what we call the show that we've been doing.
Yeah.
It's always a tough question, and like I said, sometimes it's strictly financial, sometimes it's emotional, and sometimes it's actually structural. Sometimes the house is just not worth saving.
Yeah. And I think you guys probably have a similar way that you treat your customers like we do. Sometimes we tell people you shouldn't sell. You should just rent it out or just do a refi.
Exactly.
Because I think you guys, when you sit down with a client, I'm just going to know this from you being on air for 9 years and being in business for so long, that you're always going to sit down and give the client advice that best suits them and not something that's good for HomeWorks, but what's best for the client.
Right, because, we're not in a huge area. We're on the whole mainland. We're just in Hawaii. We're in Oahu. So we want to give somebody the best, like you said, the best information for them. Because if it's bad information, that's going to spread around, and we don't want that spreading around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so even if we don't do that, we actually got a job. This is a true story. We got a job from a client, and we were referred by somebody else, and they said, we didn't hire HomeWorks, but we wish we did. So we're going to refer you to HomeWorks.
There you go. A referral from somebody that didn't do business with you.
But they wish they did.
But they wish they did.
And never regretted it.
That's a super referral.
Yeah, that's a good referral right there.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jim, for coming on the show today.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And good luck with the show. And I love your radio show, so keep up the good work.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you on again.
Absolutely. All right, you guys come on with me. So aloha.
All right, thank you, Jim.
All right, bye now.
All right, so that was Jim Bixby with HomeWorksHawaii.com. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. Their number is 955-2777. Adrienne, what's that number?
955-2777.
All right.
So we have Nikki.
Who's on the line?
I think it's Nikki on the line.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
All right. So Nikki's going to talk about her open house tomorrow.
Yes, I'm doing an open house tomorrow, Sunday, from 2 to 5 at 94-870 Loomy Owl Street. Unit K as in Kilo 203. It's listed for $335,000. It is not a short sale. This unit has 2 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, which is a nice bonus. 750 square feet, 2 parking spaces, and a nice covered lanai. The amenities include there's a clubhouse, a pool, a recreation area, and a bonus is close to the outlet mall.
Very nice. And I think with this particular unit, if we don't get it into escrow, our owner is going to be putting a tenant in there. So
better hurry up.
Yes. And
you know, I know you mentioned there's 2 parking stalls, but we looked at a lot of the units in there. They only got 1.
Yeah.
This one's got 2.
That's right.
An added bonus, yes. So come out and see me tomorrow from 2 to 5.
All right. Thanks,
All
Nikki.
right. Thanks, Nikki.
All right. Abby, are you there?
I'm here.
All right. So where will you be at this weekend, Abby?
So I'm going to be at beautiful Coalina tomorrow at 1 to 4 at the Hillside Villas. This is a nice condo townhome. It has 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. A little bit of maintenance fees, but it's still worth it because it has, it includes a pool, a rec area. We got a whirlpool there and a tennis court and an exercise room. Really, really nice, gorgeous house with steel appliances, granite countertops. There's a nice, large master bedroom, and there's also a private backyard. And only been in the market for 2 days, and it's listed for $525.
And it's in a resort community, so right down the street from
Disney Hotel.
Aulani.
Yeah, Aulani. So if you wanted to finally own something in a resort community,
there you go.
If you want to ride your Segway to the beach, I see a lot of those out there.
Yes, please come see me tomorrow at 1 to 4. MLS says it's actually today, but sorry guys, no open houses on Saturdays, unfortunately, at Coalina, so only on Sundays.
All right.
1 to 4.
So go visit Abby tomorrow. It's listed at $525,000.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Abby.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, and then our last open house for
Where's
this
that one
weekend. This one is in Makakilo, over at Seascape, and it's listed at $409,000.
Oh wow!
It's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, single-family home, and it does need some work.
Some TLC.
But it's totally worth it. So I think we had an estimate from Spots, and it was, what was it, about like $4,000 or $5,000 to get it back up to livable condition.
Yeah, and they're going to go and pretty much sanitize that home and get it all nice and move-in ready. So if you take a look at it and you're wondering what it's going to take to get it in that condition, remember now, folks, when you take a look at a home and it's not like super perfect, that, you know, all the challenges you see with the property equal
opportunity.
Yep.
So go check out this opportunity. It's going to be open tomorrow from 2 to 5. Lydia Bishop will be out there for the open house. And again, this is on 927049 LA Street, unit number 54. So as soon as you come in the gate, it's going to be, you'll see, well, our sign is no longer there, but you'll see the house and
you'll see the open house signs.
You'll see the open house signs right to the left there.
Yeah.
So anyhow, and the size is about 1,400 square feet and 2-car garage, guest parking. Maintenance fees are the maintenance fees?
All right.
$335.
$335. We got about 10 seconds before we're ending the show. One last thing. What's some last real estate pearls of wisdom we want to share with people? Hey, get your home in great shape if you want to get top dollar.
Yeah.
All right, so we're in a market where you know, if there's it is a seller's market, but you still to get the top dollar, come in. You know, one of the things we do, we go visit your home, take a pile of pictures, and give you a to-do list.
Yep, picture by picture. All right, well, thanks for listening, and thank you to our sponsors.
Denise Kaehu with Hawaii Escrow and Title.
Gabe Ame and Jim Owens of Hawaii VA Loans.
Mike Metz with Kamina Termite and Pest Control.
Bradley Maruyama with Allstate Insurance.
Flo and Frank with Spots Cleaning and Maintenance.
Matt Forte of Fidelity National Title.
And Todd Bedford with Lifeline Security. If you want to get a hold of any of our sponsors, just go to teamlally.com and check out our business partner page under our link section.
We also want to give a big thank you to Steven and Hector, our producers here in the studio.
Yee-hoo!
And make sure to tune in next week. We're going to have an awesome guest talking about something that'll change your life forever.
This is the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the guaranteed
Sold Program!
If we can't sell your home at the agreed upon price and or time frame, we'll have it bought for cash.
Thanks and aloha!